Okay guys, what is Where the Scruff? Well, Where the Scruff is a series of modules explaining how I actually trade, and it takes you from the start to the very end, and as market conditions change, I do add extra modules to it, and you'll find all of these details on my website, scruffytrader.com. Now, part of it is if you come into the Discord, you will also find a list of it here. Now, it runs right through, and this is what the current setup of modules are. So the first one is set your charts up. In other words, how to get it to a nice canvas so you can read it fully. Why you would use your journals and useful websites where you do your homework. Journals incredibly important. How to set a position size. Well, position size, again, if you get that wrong, it can make or break your account. Best times to trade, kind of self-explanatory. You trade when the markets are moving, or if they're slow, you're going to have to look for pending orders and swing trades, that sort of thing. Types of trade, take you through scalper, day trade, position trade, swing trade, that sort of thing. Pre-markets, little bits of homework that you do before you go into the market itself. The window of the world, how to set your correlations up. Pick the best day trading product. Are you going to be Forex? Are you going to be indices? That sort of thing. Single it down into a single product. So if you are trading the indices, maybe drill it down into the DAX. That sort of thing. How to mark out key levels. Now there's levels and there's levels. This will tell you which ones are key. How to validate those levels to make certain they are absolutely rock solid on the market. The trading arena. The area in which the price is going to bounce from one part to the next. Anchor charts, which is your primary chart to get your direction and understand where the trade is going to. +1, -1, how to figure out a key direction so you've got the sensible way to trade and you're going with the flow. Trigger charts, self-explanatory. Which charts help trigger to get me into the market? How to draw in your golden zones. These are mathematical ratios where the price reacts. How to read a Bollinger Band. How to read an RSI. How to read and draw Fibonacci. Very important. You can't just put them on willy-nilly. You've got to understand how to read them. How to target effectively. How to place your stops effectively. How to use Scruffy Madness to manage your trade. Ladder trading, which is where it's like a relay race between multiple orders. Using an RSI as a trigger point. Very, very simple. Which candles are your trigger candle? How to stay in the trades longer. Key entry points using the fib and trigger combined. And we're only halfway through, guys. So there's a lot to do. The mindset. How you cope with various things, whether it's a loss or a win. How to quickly read conditions at a glance. When to stay out of the market. Very important. Another fixed stop tool. This is a tool where you just overlay it on the chart and it'll show you where the stops are. The power of 3. So you're always on the best side of a trade. No man's land is a strategy for swing trading. Very, very simplistic, but quite effective. The whip, again, it's an end of day strategy for swing trading. Very effective. The death cross and the gold cross. Very institutional way of trading. Very simple, similar to no man's land, but again, very, very good. The river hybrid trading, my personal swing trading way. The push strategy, if you like to scalp, this is where you'll find that. News trading, how to look at the news, understand the conditions, and then trade in and around it. GoldenEye, my way of trading. My number one way of trading is GoldenEye. Trader thoughts, my mindset and what I think is going on. Live examples, there's a few here that you can use. Down to the DAX, I picked various products as requested by the guys. How to do a risk profile so you understand how much is at stake at any one time and how to manage your money effectively. Broad stroke direction, again, it's just giving you a good overview of the market very quickly. How to hold or kill a trade when things aren't quite right. This will tell you how to stay or go. Box theory, very easy early morning day trade strategy. 3-click bias setup, how to look at the markets to get a strength and an understanding of the market using a 3-click. 3-click direction score. It's moving on from the 3-click setup into putting it into a true direction, so you're always on the right side of the trade. How to simplify Bollinger Bands. It's the 4 states of the Bollinger Band, but it's how to read them effectively. Roadmap of fib. Again, it's how to understand what a Kylie is. From the top to the bottom, the expansions, what the retracements and continuations are. And then down into earn the right to trade, because you can't just run at the markets. This is a little bit in there. And then another strategy that is very beginner friendly, red light, green light. So that's 53 modules, and there's still more to come as and when the guys request it, because as I say, it's an ongoing thing. You'll find all the details of this on the website, scruffytrader.com. And at the moment, once you go into the modules, you'll also be invited over into the Discord for 2 months, where I'm live. I'm live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, face to face. I do one on an evening, one on the morning, and across the weekend I'm still working, and I'm always available, guys. I'm always here to help. See you on the inside.